All right, now we're gonna go on to text. My order of operations is I'm gonna cut up all of my clips, and then when I'm happy with them, then I might go either do my color correction or my text. Let's go ahead and start with text. For text, there are 3 main ways to do it. First way, we can just go ahead and with nothing selected, just click on the text option. If you notice, there's actually a thing called AI Writer, which will allow us to basically use ChatGPT to help us write a script. We'll go ahead and click Add Text. And from here, we can just go ahead and type in my name, Scott Herder. Boom, that's great. I've been using this font Helvetica, but we'll show you how to add fonts in a second. So the first thing that I see is at this bar, we have AI Writer, font, styles, effects, animations, bubbles, and presets. And then on the bottom row, let's just tackle that real fast. We have these 3 little dashes, and this is to help us add an extra keyboard. If we wanted to add another keyboard, we can go to available. I can go ahead and add Korean, go to my added, remove this English one, click save, and now I have English and Hangul in our fonts. This next one looks like a badge and a check mark, and if I click on it, it's gonna filter between commercial use and not commercial use. If you're working on a paid campaign, you might want to toggle in between this or just start using your own fonts. You could also search for fonts. So I've been using Helvetica throughout this. Maybe I haven't spelled it wrong. I don't know how to spell Helvetica. Okay, I thought I spelled it right. Okay, anyhow, that's how you can do it. So now we also have the ability to add a font. Now I've added this text. I can also pinch to zoom and scale it down, scale it up. I can move it to the left. I can move it to the right. I can also put a keyframe here, slide over and make it animate if I wanted to. I don't want to do that. But you can see it's completely editable. It acts just like an adjustment layer, and I have the option to split it if I want. So I'm probably gonna want to change this a little bit and make some animations. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do so, I will, if I'm selected off of it, I just need to tap on. But if I can't see any of this, all I need to do is press text and it'll activate it back up. Okay, so now I want to make some adjustments. Let's click style. And I have all of these different adjustments that I can make. I can make it kind of have like that Instagram look. There's so many cool things that you can do. I'm just gonna keep it clean and I'll see what it looks like if I can do like a nice teal look. I think it's gonna be too hard to read. So I'm just gonna stay with white. I like that, makes it simple. You know, really what we wanna do is we just wanna go for legibility, and I think that's pretty nice. Now, I am a sucker for glow, so I'm just gonna add a little glow. I just like a nice little subtle glow. Okay, so we have different styles. And as you can see, we can change our text, we can change our stroke colors, we can change the glow. So if I wanted to make a stroke, it's just gonna add a little stroke, a little outline to the edge to make it a little bit easier to read. I could also have a background. Not a huge fan of that look, but it is option. Shadow, you can adjust that to however you like. All of these normal things. Curve, you can make curve text, kind of cool. Make it a full circle, go any way that you want. I'll remove that. Spacing. So let me actually go ahead and make some text. So if I wanted to adjust the actual text, I could just come in here and either click on it, or I can also click this little edit button. So I want to add a line and 3rd line, just so I can show you what this does. So if we are back into our edit styles and we are in the spacing, you can see we can make the alignment changes with these little arrows. We can also change it to be vertical and still aligned. But what we can do is we can scale it up, scale it down here. We can adjust, we can make the width of the characters bigger or smaller. And then we can also make the text taller, like the gap between the text taller or smaller. That's why I wanted to add those lines so you could see that. So let's go ahead and just undo a bunch of that. Perfect. Going back into the style, we can also change the bold. So if we wanted to make it all italic, all underlined, we can do that. We can also change the casing. So if I wanted to have it all lowercase, can't do it with this font. Let's find a different font real quick so we can show you. Whoa. Let's go back to Helvetica. And so now I can make it all lowercase, or I can just make it normal. Doesn't matter. You have these different options to control it here instead of having to retype the whole word, which is pretty nice. So we'll leave it like that. And that is everything in styles. Effects, a lot of different effects that you can apply and presets that you can apply to the text to give it this cool look. That one's pretty nice. Ooh, it's nice, it's subtle. It's got that glow I like. I just am a sucker for glow. There's all these different options and you can go ahead, I'm gonna definitely save that one, but you can go ahead and look through them. You can do it by colors if you're trying to have a different color. You wanna be multicolored, pink. I kind of like this one, but you get the picture. There's all kinds of fun, different options that you can do. Those are nice. I like that. Ooh, this one's good. That's nice. Okay, so you get the idea. Now the animations is something that I really like. I really am a big fan of this typewriter effect, so I can just have it kind of type on. And we could also do outros as well. So we did in, we could also do an outro. So maybe I want to have a different outro. Something simple. I kind of err on the less is more. I like this bounce left. So we can adjust how quickly it types on and how quickly it animates off. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I like that. And then we could always adjust it. I might want that to take a little bit longer. Start a little later. Cool. So we've added a nice text animation. Maybe I'll have it start a little bit earlier. And we can go ahead and continue to tweak it. We got animations. We can also do bubbles. Bubbles are kind of like the comic bubbles. They kind of give it a nice, cool comic look. I typically don't go for this, but there are a few different options. Like, I think things like this are kind of cool if you're gonna do like, oh, this is on sale. There are some fun ones. You're writing a shopping list or you're talking about baking, like you could do things like this. These ones are so much fun. I really love those. And then lastly, let me back up actually. Let me show you this. So if I go to my presets and I save this as a new preset, you'll see I'll get this message that says I can't do glow. There's certain things that it won't allow you to do a preset. So if I continue, save this as a preset, you'll see it really just only allows your font styles and effects. Animations and bubbles aren't gonna come, and then apparently glow won't be included as well. Okay, so we talked about adding text like that. Another thing that we can do is we can actually make this text go ahead and speak. So I can have Sam speak my voice for me. Next, we have text templates, and these are gonna come up with a bunch of really cool animations that we can choose from. I really like using this. For example, if I was doing a YouTube video and I wanted to have somebody say subscribe or thanks for watching, please subscribe. You just click on it, it'll automatically load, and then boom, you can just place it around wherever it's legible. You can choose different social media ones. So you could find Instagram, you could find YouTube, Twitter, or X. And again, if you find ones that you really like, you can go ahead and save them. So then they'll show up in your saved tab. And they have it as different categories. So you can have titles, you can have tags. And what's nice about these is, let's say I use this tag. All of these are customizable. So all I have to do is click on it and I can type anything that I want and it's going to make the adjustment. So just type on it, Scotty boy, boom, easy. There's a lot of different ones that you could play with. I recommend, again, I said this a lot, but I always recommend going in and playing with it. There's just thousands of different options. It'd be too much to go through all at once. So the next thing that we can do is we can draw. So we have all of these different brushes that we can choose, and a dotted line, one with an arrow, a glow one, which is nice. And you can adjust the size of your brush. You can adjust the opacity of your brush. You can even use an eraser tool to erase things. So let's just undo until we're done. So let's say, for example, I wanted to draw some really fun glasses. Now, I do not know how to draw at all, but wow, this is hard for me. So I don't have the fingers for this, but if I wanted to draw, I could draw something like this, and then I can go into animations, and it'll actually allow us to animate the drawing. So we could do simple features like spiral it in, fun. But what I really like is the option to draw it on. It acts like I'm drawing on it. And that's really, really cool. And I can slow it down or speed it up. And now that's a pro feature, but these are the different options. All kinds of different fun things you can play with. And that's really cool that you can do this. This is really difficult to do in Premiere After Effects. We can delete that. Let's see, is there anything else? Stickers. I haven't talked about stickers, but stickers work just like everything else that we have talked about. There's just thousands of different stickers, emojis, X's, check marks. Again, you can go ahead and save these. And then there's also a free AI. I have never used this. Let's just try it. Let's try a bouquet of pink roses. Okay. So I guess I can just add that. Okay, so you can use AI to help you come up with stuff too, which is really cool. So there's just so many different features that you could choose from. Basically add stickers, emojis. You got it. Like, it's pretty self-explanatory. We're not gonna go too in-depth there. All right, and that's everything about adding text. So if you have any questions about adding text to your videos, please let me know and I'll be happy to update the video.